All right, in this video, we're going to go over some of the services that you should get on your car to maintain it long term, and some services that you should avoid getting at a dealership or garage just because they are of no benefits and they're kind of scammy. And they're going to be the ones that the dealership or garage are going to try to push on you eventually. All right, so we're going to start with the mandatory services that you should get. Okay, and number one is going to be oil change, obviously. You'd be surprised how many people miss that one. So 6K kilometers or 8K for synthetic, and that's 3K miles, and then 5K, 5K miles. So that's the basic interval you should do it at to keep your car running as long as possible, and then obviously to maintain and protect your engine, because that's the main goal of the oil change, is to because if something goes wrong there, then you're going to be paying for a new engine overhaul or a new engine completely. So this service is every 6,000 to 8,000 kilometers or every 6 months, depending if you drive your car or not. But most people won't follow the 6 months rule. I think it's kind of early, in my opinion. I mean, you could go 1 year if you don't drive your car, but mostly as long as you hit these targets, the 6 and 8K, then you should be good to go, and then you'll be due for an oil change. All right, next up we have brake service. So this one should be done every 10K kilometers to 20K kilometers. You could push it to 25 sometimes. Only after you've replaced your new brake pads. So after you've done a new brake pad and rotor, then you could start the interval at 10, 20, and 25 to start doing your brakes. So this is probably the number one service that we sold at the dealership. We clean the guide pins, we clean the pads, and we clean the bracket, and then we re-grease everything and put them all back together. And that's kind of to avoid any premature brake pad wear, and then making sure that your rotors are wearing out correctly. Some dealerships will offer a rotor resurfacing service depending on the dealership or garage. We didn't offer that, but usually that's what's included into a brake service. So this is the main service that we sold at the dealership, and we would always sell it with an oil change, so a brake service. And then you would and then we would explain to the customers that this service is to avoid premature brake pad wear, which some customers would eventually complain about, like, oh, why are my brake pads making already that much noise, or why are they already worn? And then we would advise them that, you know, it's beneficial to get a brake service every 10, 20, or 25,000 kilometers after you've installed new brake pads, or at least once a year, at least. Especially those that don't drive their car that much, then once a year would be ideal, because brake pads that are sitting is just as damaging as brake pads that are getting used. I think even sitting is even worse, because you just accumulate a lot of rust and they never move. All right, next up, tranny flush. So we would sell this at 100,000 kilometers, which it's okay. It's recommended sometimes by the manufacturer to do a complete tranny flush plus filter at 100,000 kilometers. But if you but some car owners might find this a bit too steep. If you really want to maintain your car long term, some transmission shops will actually recommend 30,000 kilometers for transmission flushes. It's as important as the oil change. It's a fluid that, you know, eventually gets hot and then cools down, and all these heat cycles break it down eventually. So ideally, you would want 30,000 kilometers to every tranny flush, but realistically, no one ever does that. So at 30,000, you could probably get them at 100,000, but even at that, they'll probably be reluctant to do this one. But as a mechanic, I would advise to do a tranny flush at 100,000 kilometers, just to keep your transmission running smoothly and long term. Because the worst case scenario is going to be a burnt out internal clutches on the transmission due to lack of maintenance, and then you're going to be paying for a transmission overhaul, which is $2,000, maybe $1,000, $1,500, depending on if the shop or garage is actually going to rebuild your transmission. So yeah, these are the services that we should get just to avoid a bigger bill down the line. Especially with brake service, you don't want to be redoing brakes prematurely. At the dealership, it's around 1,400, depending on the SUV that you drive. But for compact cars, it was around 800. But you know, these are dealership prices. Obviously, you could probably get them done way cheaper somewhere else, or you could even do them yourself. So that's the main job of the brake service, as well as the transmission flush. All right, and then last mandatory service is going to be a simple one. It's just a simple tire rotation. So we would always do the tire rotation with the oil change every 6 months or a year, just to avoid the uneven tire wear. So for those that don't know, the front tires are always going to be the one that wear out first, just because of the weight. Most of the weight is on the front of the car, and then most of the traction is on the front of the car as well. So every 6 months to do your tire rotation, just so they wear out evenly, or a year you could push it, or you could just do them with the oil change. So where I worked at, we would always do it every season. So every summer tire season, which would be in March, and then we would switch them again in November for the winter tire season. So because where I live, winter tires are mandatory, so it just works out perfectly for the customer, so he doesn't have to really think about it. And yeah. All right, next up is the scam services. So the ones you do not want to buy because technically they don't do anything at all. So if you tell them, so first up is going to be the engine flush. So it's just a chemical that they put in the engine, and then you run it for 10-15 minutes, and then you just do the oil change as usual. So if you tell them, so the trigger words for the advisor is late on oil change. So if you tell them that, then boom, he's going to give you this speech. He's going to give you the engine flush speech to sell you on that. So it's basically like a chemical to kind of clean up the sludge buildup and varnish that's built up in the engine, but it's not even aggressive enough to do that, because the problem with this is if it claims to clean all that, then where does the sludge go? Is it gonna go in the oil galleries and then get clogged up there, or is it gonna go in the pickup tube and then get clogged up there as well? So that's why it doesn't clean as, you know, what they claim. And then if it doesn't clean anything, then it's just useless. So all you have to do is get your oil change on time, and then it's going to be better than any engine flush could ever do. Since there's already additives and cleaning agents in the oil companies are not dumb. They put a lot of engineering in making their oil. So just do an oil change, and then you'll have a perfectly fine engine. All right, next up, it's kind of the same concept, the intake valve cleaning. So it's also a chemical that they run into the intake snorkel, where they pressurize that chemical, and then it's supposed to clean the back of your intake valves. So if you have GDI engines, they'll have lots of accumulation of carbon deposits on the back of the valves, and then since the injectors are not sitting on the back of the valves, sorry, that's an injector. So nothing can clean it really. On GDI engine, the injector is directly into the combustion chamber, so that's the issue with that. So what this intake valve cleaning does is we'll hook up the apparatus around the snorkel, and then it would just shoot chemicals to like kind of clean up this carbon deposit here, but we're only shooting it at like 2 psi of air pressure, which is, it's not even going to do anything. So, and it's going to be similar to the engine flush, where the problem is, even if it does clean all this carbon deposit, where is it going to go? Is it going to go in the engine? Is it going to go in the combustion chamber to get burned off, and then possibly cause some damage? Or where is it going to go? And if it doesn't do that, then it doesn't do anything. So why even sell this? So this is the intake valve cleaning with the chemical. So there is a legit version of this service, which is the walnut blasting, and that's going to be the one that, if they actually offer this, then that's going to be the legit one. which is high pressure walnut blasting, and then that's the one that's going to clean out the back of the intake valves, and that's going to be the one that bring you way better results. So I'll put a picture up here where the before and after, and that's basically the gist of it. But the garage or dealership would have to have the machine to do that one. Usually a garage that works on specifically German cars would have that machine to do walnut blasting, and it's the only legit way to clean off the back of the intake valves. So why you would do this service is to restore idle, and then sometimes correct some misfire issues that your car is having if you have a GDI engine, which is, I don't know if I said it before, it's a gasoline direct injection. Okay, so that would be the legit one, walnut blasting. Okay, and then finally, alignments. So I put it in orange because it's, whoops. I put it in orange because it's not completely a scam, but it's just dishonest. So they would call it a four-wheel. So they would call it a four-wheel alignment. And then, if you have a small compact car with torsion beam axles in the back, so they have no adjustable angles in the back, so only the front angles. So, and then even the front angles, you have 3 angles to adjust. So toe, camber, and caster. So I was responsible for alignments at the dealership that I worked at, and all we would correct is toe, and that's it. So it's not even four-wheel alignment, it's just one angle on the 2 front wheels. So because we can't even adjust camber unless they bring us camber bolts, which 100% of the customers never did. So, and then obviously caster as well. They would have to bring us caster bolts, or I'm not even sure how they even adjust that. So that's why it's not completely honest a four-wheel alignment. I get the point of it, where you want to make sure you drive straight, but it's also the setup that they use to sell this. So as soon as you buy 4 new tires, they're gonna immediately try to sell you a alignment. I get why, but sometimes, if you just put on new tires, then why would any of these angles change? So that's why it's a bit not as honest as it should be. So the only reason you would want a four-wheel alignment is if you change any front end or rear end suspension components. So ball joints, tie rod, inner outer tie rods, rack and pinion. And that's the only reason why you would want to get an alignment. So since you've replaced those components, the angles have changed because some of the components are not the same weights, not the same dimensions, and so on. So it's going to affect the angles in the front end of your car. So that's the only scenario where you would need a four-wheel alignment. And also, when it came time to do the tire change in November, the advisors will go ham on the alignments. They would just sell alignments to everyone. So everyone would get an alignment. As soon as you walk in that door, they'll get an alignment check. So alignment check was $40. So that's just putting the car on the machine, and then if it needs adjustments, then it would shoot up to $129.99, and then I would be responsible to do those. So sometimes if it was off by like 0.01 degrees in the red, then I would just say no adjustments, because I'm not gonna fight to change. I'm not gonna fight to bring back that 0.01, and then boom, he gets charged $129. I was like, you know what? It's fine. He's driving straight. He's not even complaining of a pulling issue. So, and then yeah, that's where it becomes like a bit scammy, because they sell it to everyone. I remember a scenario where the advisor sold one for a Mercedes, I think C250 or CLA, I forgot. And then there was so many specs to fill out. You would have to pre-fill before even starting the alignments. And then we never had experience, or I never had experience aligning a Mercedes. So there was just so many, data that you have to put in before even doing any adjustments. So that's why I was like, ooh, who even sold this? Why do you even need to sell an alignment for a Mercedes? Like, but anyway, they would sell it to anyone. And then the craziest one was the advisor sold it to a 2023 EV6 Kia EV6. And why would a 2023 need an alignment? I don't know why. The car was brand new. I think it had 5,000 kilometers on it or somewhere around that. And I couldn't even do the alignment because my alignment software didn't even have the specs. So I can't remember if I had to fill it up manually or get the specs from somewhere, but so they would sell it to anyone that comes through that door. So yeah, that was the funniest experience I had doing an alignment on a car where we never had the specs. So all right, and that's going to be it for this video. So hope you find this video helpful on which services that you should get for your car and which ones that are scammy that you should avoid. All right, guys, make sure you like this video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.